Hi, everyone. Welcome back. This is my co-host, Melanie Querry. I'm Andreas Beck, and welcome to Beyond the Scenes. Today, we're going to discuss the top 3 questions when discussing marketing with clients. The first question that we receive all the time is, what budget do you recommend? How do we answer that question for our clients?
Oh, that one's my favorite. And so businesses have expenses, let's face it. And we don't know what your expenses are unless we're seeing your balance sheet, your P&L statement. We're not in your books, so we don't know what your expenses are. We may know what your revenue is based off of what you tell us, but that doesn't always dictate. You know, they do say that you should spend somewhere between 7 and 10% on advertising, based off of your baseline of your revenue, give or take. And so the budget is tricky. When we're working with a business or engaging with a business, we like to say that we work backwards. We are
Exactly.
we are not an agency that's going to throw a budget at you to say this is what it's going to take, because if you don't have that kind of budget, it's our job as professionals to provide you with media or marketing tactics that are going to fit within your budget. And that makes it tough because some clients will say, well, gee, I only have $5,000, or, hey, I have 50 grand within the year or within the next 6 months.
All respectable budgets.
Exactly. And so we work backwards with a budget amount, and then we will help you understand how to spend that money within a full-fledged marketing plan, with hopes that you're going to have a layered approach with different types of media.
Yeah, traditional and digital together.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, and I think maybe as a recommendation would be like, maybe think about what your budget is before coming in. A lot of times we might speak with a layer of folks in an organization. It's not the decision maker. So they came to us, and then, we don't want to give you a budget with a Super Bowl ad when your budget's $100,000 for the year. There's just so many different options that we have. So that would be our recommendation on that question. So our second question is, how do you select the media breakout?
Well, unfortunately, that circles back to the budget. So if a business tells us that they have X amount of budget, what we do is then dive deep into some research and determine how to best spend those dollars. And that might include some TV or billboards or radio, maybe even print. It potentially will include a multi-layered approach with social media marketing, so including several different social media platforms for advertising purposes. Or it might include other types of advertising, such as the programmatic suite we have to offer, or other digital platforms. And so the media itself is critical, but it really is dictated by the budget and by the messaging. So the messaging is critical. If we're really focusing on a B2B message, then we will definitely include LinkedIn and potentially some TV advertising, but focus on programming that's going to be more business oriented as opposed to advertising in cartoons, for example.
Yeah, I think you said it best with B2B. I think, we've become experts in all of these different niches and different industries that we work with, from education to tourism to B2B. And each one has its own path, and each one has its own set of a formula that works for them. So every single business is unique and every industry is unique. And with that, the different media breakouts really come into play. So when coming into a meeting with us or with any agency, really, what is something that maybe they should think about from their perspective?
Right. So the budget is important. It's very important. And I would suggest, if there's a way for you to determine a dollar amount you're comfortable spending in a given month, or if there's a particular time frame, a 6-month period or a 12-month period that you're comfortable budgeting, then that's really helpful to that, firm that you might be.
That budget. Unfortunately, it's so fun being in this industry because you do so much killer creative, but we also want to be in line and meet expectations.
Exactly. But it's not just about the media, and it's not just about that budget allocation is going to determine where we advertise, but how we advertise and the messaging behind it is equally as important as the media itself. And when it comes to the creative or the creative messaging.
Yeah, so that's actually our third question. So what is the process for developing messaging?
Yeah. You know, it really is a give and take. This is where the conversation comes into play as far as being able to determine which platform we're advertising on. So, for example, a billboard, you know, should have 7 words or less, and so the billboard imagery is important, and the headline is critical. And with TV, we can squeeze a lot into a 30-second commercial and drive people back to the website to engage with, you know, more information that they might be collecting. A direct mailer, you know, these days can have a QR code on it to get someone to engage and come back to your website as well for more information. So the message is really critical by media or advertising platform, and the imagery, the look, the branding, and the cohesiveness. All of these elements I just mentioned, TV, direct mail, billboards, they all need to have a brand that's cohesive throughout, so that when someone's driving and they see the billboard and then they get home and they watch TV and then they go through their mail and see the direct mail, there's not you know, dysfunction there where it's disjointed and they don't understand that it's the exact same message for the same client.
Yeah, and working with so many business and marketing professionals over the years, you know, agencies, we're not always there to say, your brand needs a complete refresh. Oh my God, new tagline, new imagery, everything. Not necessarily. You know, well-developed companies have well-developed brands, and we're here to assist in helping to push that existing brand potentially. If you come to us and say, oh, we want a new tagline, that's one thing. Or if you want a new logo, or, you know, there's a million things. But a lot of times we're here to take your color scheme and your branding and then elevate it, maybe using transparency, or there's a lot of creative techniques to really make a brand pop, if you will. And so that's my take on it. You know, it's not always going to be a total brand refresh. That's not what agencies do. We really work as a marketing department for you and really enhance your capabilities all the way around.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time.